Hi everyone, and welcome back to Wolf of Knowledge. Today's video is on SQL, the basics of SQL, also known as SQL. In this video, and most likely another 2 or 3 videos on the same topic, SQL basics, I'll be showing you simple queries, fundamental queries, that should help you land an entry-level position. Alright, so SQL is a query language, and once you know SQL, you'll understand how to use it with different platforms. For example, SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, or Microsoft Access. They all use different variations. For example, T-SQL, PL-SQL, and Jet-SQL. They all use SQL, but they have small differences and variations. By doing a simple Google search, you'll be able to identify what the differences are, and it shouldn't take much effort. It's pretty easy once you understand how to write simple queries and the fundamental structure of SQL. Alright, so let's get started. We'll be using Microsoft Access, and we're going with Microsoft Access because I believe most people have it installed on their computer already. And it's pretty user-friendly. It's intuitive, and most people grew up using Microsoft products. Alright, so I have 2 tabs open. I'll go ahead and close them out so I can show you how to get there. Okay, so here we have my table that I created, and it is called Dogs Table. Let's go ahead and open it. And we have 4 fields. We have the breed field, color field, size field, and monthly maintenance cost field. And these are our records. We have 7 records, as you can see. Alright, so that's our table, and now let's go into writing a query. So you want to go into Create, and then click on Query Design. And we're going to close this out. If you're interested, let me know in the comments, and I'll show you how to pull data from Access database using this method. But we're going to go into SQL View. The structure of a SQL query is pretty intuitive. So we want to start off with select. We're going to select what we want to pull from the database. So let's go with select, and then we have to indicate which fields we want to pull from our dogs table. So first, you want to indicate the name of the table, which is dogs, and then the name of the field, which is breed, and we also want the monthly maintenance cost field from the dogs table. So, as you noticed, I put a comma. You have to separate your fields with commas. So we're selecting the breed field from the dogs table. Also, we're selecting the monthly maintenance cost field from the dogs table. And even though we indicated which table we're pulling from, we still have to write it down at the bottom. From dogs. So we're selecting 2 fields. We're selecting the breed field and monthly maintenance cost field from the dogs table. Let's go ahead and run that. And as you can see, it pulls these 2 fields. This is probably the most basic query. You can go ahead and select different fields to pull. But let's go back and try out a different query. Alright, let's do an average of the monthly maintenance cost per dog size. Let's try that out. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and hopefully it doesn't confuse you. If it does, let me know and I'll clarify for you. So we have the first field, which was breed. But let's go ahead and change it to the size field. And then to do average, we're going to do AVG, parentheses, the table name, and the field inside parentheses. And then most likely you'll want to rename this field as average maint cost. And then again, from the dogs table. And when you do an average, you do have to group by dogs size. Alright, so let's try and run it. And as you can see, we get the average monthly cost per size. And with all these queries, they don't seem too impressive at the moment, especially with the small data set. But once you have thousands or millions of records, these queries are a lot more effective. Okay, now let's try and select the top 3 breeds based on monthly maintenance cost. In other words, we want the most expensive breeds to maintain. So let's go back to our field section and let's change it back to breed. So we want to look at breeds again, and we're not doing average. We're not interested in average, so I'm going to delete all this. So again, we're selecting breed and monthly maintenance cost from the dogs table. And now let's get rid of the group by. And at the top, let's select top 3. And then we have to order by dogs, monthly mate cost, and we'll do descending order. And the semicolon, you don't need it. It'll run with or without it, but it's good practice to include it. Just identifies that it's the end of the query. Alright, so let's run it. And as you can see, the poodles are the most expensive breed to maintain. If you had millions of records and you just wanted to know the top 3, this would be a very useful query. Here we don't have as many, but still just looking at it quickly, it might take you maybe 30 seconds to a minute to identify the top 3 breeds. Alright, next on the list, let's try doing a count query. So we'll get rid of the top 3 and let's do a count of dog size. Let's see how many breeds we have per size. So let's get rid of breed and go back to selecting size. And then we'll be doing count. So we won't be using the cost anymore. We'll be using count, dogs, size. But we can name it count. And again, we're pulling the size field, and then we'll have another field with this calculation, which is a count, from the dogs table. And let's group by, let's do dogs size. Alright, in order to do the count, you have to group by. Let's go ahead and run it. And as you can see, it counts the number of breeds per size. So if we go back to our table, you can see that large size, we have 3. Medium, we got 2 in the query, and we can confirm that we have 2. And then for small, we also got 2. We can confirm we got 2, 1, and 2. And again, like I said before, it doesn't seem very impressive with this small data set, but if we had thousands or millions of records, it'd be very beneficial and efficient to use a query instead of going down the records and counting by hand or any other method. A query is a lot more powerful and useful. Alright, so these 4 queries, I believe, are basic and fundamental. There are many variations to them. We can make simple adjustments to change the results. If I get good feedback for this video, I'll be creating parts 2 and 3 with additional explanations and queries. And again, just understanding how these queries work and being able to execute them and different variations of the queries should give you a huge advantage and good possibility of landing an entry-level position that does require SQL skills and working with the database. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video with friends and family. Thank you. Bye.